Kia ora, welcome back to AM. Now, the driver of a horror crash near Timaru that killed 5 teenagers has walked free from jail after serving just over half of his 2.5-year sentence. Tyrese Fleming was sentenced in June last year after admitting 5 charges of dangerous driving causing death. He'd only just got his restrictive licence when he lost control of the car that he was driving, killing Giovanni Drummond, Nico Hill, Andrew Goodger, Jack Wallace and Joseph McCarthy. Giovanni Drummond's father, Stephen Drummond, joins us now. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Steve. What do you make of his release on parole?
Not a lot, really. He served 3 months per kid for the length of time what he's been inside, so it's a pretty good prison sentence, I reckon. Yeah,
did you want him to serve out the entire 2.5 years?
Well, what he got was actually quite light. Like, at the end of the day, you do crime and you drink and drive. He should have served, to me, the whole time he was given. The government classify an anklet bracelet a prison, the same as a prison sentence.
So to you, what would justice look like to you in this case?
Well, we never get to see our kid ever again. He gets an anklet bracelet, and then after he's finished his time, he goes back to whatever he wants to do.
But what would you have liked to have seen from this case? Because did you want more than 2.5 years? Did you want 10 years? Because 2.5 years for killing 5 people, that is nothing, really, is it?
It's not a lot. It's actually a bit of a joke on the justice system to me, because we're living the prison sentence not to be able to see my son.
One of the things that the parole board said earlier in the year when they looked at this is that that Tyrese wasn't remorseful. So I'm guessing he's managed to tick that off in his latest parole board hearing. Has he shown remorse to you?
No, because he's not allowed to talk to us, and he's not allowed near any of his families until his sentence is finished, because that was what the judge gave him when he was in court.
Okay, so he's not allowed to reach out at all to you. So he hasn't apologised to you in any way?
No, not allowed to.
And so how did Giovanni and Tyrese know each other? Were they mates?
No, they knew each other from the skate park, and my son went to school with his younger brother.
Okay, and what do you want? I guess, what has this whole thing taught you, that the justice system needs a complete overhaul, particularly for cases like this?
Well, it does, because at the end of the day, it hasn't. The money they spent on taking them to court and doing it for the government is actually ridiculous. Like, the taxpayer paid a lot of money to get that to court, and what he gets 3 months per kid. It's just a joke to what it costs to do it, really.
Stephen, it's Laura here. I understand that with this latest parole board hearing that they spoke to some of the victims' families. I'm just wondering if you were one of those families and what kind of feedback you had to say when it came to discussing whether he could be released early.
We never got... They rang us up and talked to us, but we never got to comment what they were going to give him, or that. It was all done on a private panel.
Stephen,
we didn't even know he was going to get released until just recently.
Sorry, Stephen, you haven't heard from him, but what do you want to say to that young man? A message from you?
I offered to talk to him before he went to court, but the government system or what you go through wouldn't let me do it. So I didn't have a lot to say to him. I just was going to ask him how he felt and what he felt of what was going to happen. Two sides of I see his side, and I know he didn't intentionally go and kill them, but at the end of the day, he drunk and drove, and he put his keys in the ignition, and he offered it out of being stupid. He offered to take him for a joyride. It wasn't something he actually did on purpose. But he drove on purpose. He knew he was drinking, and he knew what he was doing. So it's a bit of a silly thing what teenagers obviously do, because it's happened since the kids have died in another town.
But he's out. But this is a life sentence for you, isn't it, Stephen?
It is. It's a life sentence and never seeing your kid again. It's actually like a dark, cold bedroom you walk in, and you never got to see that kid again. And if he was alive today, this Christmas, he'd be turning 18 years old.
Stephen, we have...
We don't get to see him grow up.
Yeah. We have the current Justice Minister on the program very shortly, and I realise we will have a change of government, and we have a representative from the National Party here also. What message would you like to say to them?
I'd like them to actually... It's about the living, it's not about the dead when you go to the justice system. We got told right from the start, we can't bring your kids back. It's about the system of working for Tyrese so he doesn't take his own life. That's what we got told right from the start. It's not about our kids who got their life taken off them. It's about Tyrese not taking his own life. That's what the justice system's about.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Appreciate your time this morning. There's Stephen Drummond, who is the father of Giovanni Drummond, who was killed in this incident.